Bienvenidos una vez más al Cuartel del Metal. Mi nombre es Federico. El día de hoy me acompaña Johan Söderberg de Amon Amarth para hablar del nuevo disco de la banda. Johan, again, how's it going? Great to have you here.
Yes, going good. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, of course, we're here to discuss the release of the Great Heathen Army. Congratulations on the latest album, first of all. Wanted to know, how's the reception from the fans been so far since the album's been released?
Yeah, from what I've been reading, it's been overall super good response, I think. It seems like everybody thinks this is a banger of an album, and people seem to like it more than the previous album they put out.
Great to hear. Well, of course, we'll be chatting about that record in particular, but before getting into the album, I wanted to tackle the show you did as Guardians of Asgard in Wacken that was also transmitted. It was quite interesting because you played between the two main stages also, so I wanted to know how did that idea come up and what was the experience like?
Yeah, that was super fun. And it was the first time back on stage since before the pandemic. So it's been like over 2 years before we played the show. And then we had this idea that first it was just going to be a release, kind of record release thing at Wacken with the signing. And then we came up with this idea of maybe we should play a short show as well. So first we were supposed to play a smaller stage outside in the field, smaller place. But then they could not guarantee that the security would be able to handle the people. So then they moved us to this super small plateau between the big stages. I don't think anybody's played there before. But it was really cool because it was so high up, so it was like probably 25 meters above the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really cool to see as well, I think. And Johan, getting back to the new record of this is album number 12 for Amon Amarth, and well, I think it comes to solidify the sonic proposal you've been having in the latest album, especially since Jones Viking and Berserker. What is the balance you make with this album on a sound level? How could you describe it?
I don't understand the question. The balance between the sound compared to the other albums, or
sorry?
I did not really catch the question here.
Oh, yeah, I meant to ask you, how do you perceive this record, or maybe how would you describe it? I was just maybe kind of the soundscape, to a record that in my opinion, kind of go in a similar
direction. Yeah. We tried to go for more like a kind of a more darker, more brutal sound on this album. Because the last album we tried to make it like more heavy metal kind of style, but now we wanted to go more to our death metal style, and also mostly the sound, kind of a little more raw and dark.
Okay, great. And I personally imagine it must have been, frustrating to have Berserker out in almost mid 2019 and only get to tour with it for a couple of months. And then, you said it, the first show you gave was there at Wacken. So I would like to know, were you hesitant when it came to writing a new album during the pandemic, knowing that Berserker wouldn't be the main, maybe touring focus? Or were you always convinced that you needed a new record to go out there to tour again? How was that like? Maybe you had that.
Yeah. No, actually, we were pretty lucky with because we had almost finished the touring for Berserker. We had made, main European tour and main US, Canada tour, and South America. So the only thing we actually missed was we were gonna go to Asia, and then all the festivals, of course, we missed. Those both summers. But then we decided, like, after like 1 year, it felt like we don't know when concerts are coming back, so we just gonna. It feels if we're gonna wait for like, we don't know, 2-3 years, then it's gonna be too late to continue with the Berserker cycle. So then that's when we came up with the idea that, let's make an album instead. And then if show starts again, we have to just postpone them and start a new cycle instead.
Yeah, great. And actually, how do you remember the moment when the pandemic struck? You know, you were in the middle of a tour here with Powerwolf. You got to play in Hell and Heaven Festival in Mexico as well. And well, around that moment, things went south. And last year I got to speak with Falk from Powerwolf, and he remembered it's an absolute craziness. And how do you remember that run that you had here in South America?
Yeah, I remember first we were in like Brazil. That's when we started to hear about something going on, you know, pandemic-wise, and we didn't think much about it. And then we did Argentina, Chile, and every country we moved to the next country, the previous country pretty much shut down behind us. You know, so we just jumped ahead of every country that shut down. And Mexico, when we came to Mexico, pretty much the rest of South America had already closed down the borders and no more shows, nothing, you know. And then we actually, after the show in Mexico, we were able to get one of the last planes back to Europe before they started to shut down all the airports too.
So you almost got there stuck in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that was fortunate that you didn't.
Yeah.
But well, going back to the record, you spoke of a more death metal intention in this album. In my case, it's always interesting to see death metal and traditional heavy metal, as you mentioned, collide, something that's also proper, of course, of the melodic death metal style you play. And well, in this album, you have a Biff of Saxon singing along in Saxons and Vikings. And, you know, when he sings, the band sounds like a really melodic band, of course, with more maybe down-tuned guitars and, of course, the vocals of Johan. So I would like to know how's that duality for you guitar-wise, you know, because you also have punishing songs like Odin Owns You All that are more death metal-ish riff-wise, you know. So how do you combine those more death or proper death harmonies, maybe, and the more melodic aspects of Amon Amarth's music?
Yeah, I think that's we always liked, you know, to mix some heavy metal influences into our music. But on this album, we wanted to go more back to death metal. But of course, the song Saxons and Vikings is very heavy metal because of Saxon is part of the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's still maybe more heavy than the heavy metal song, I would say.
Yeah. Cool. So let's get back to the live aspect of your music, guys. Well, I've seen you've got a big tour coming up with Machine Head and the Halo Effect through Europe, then a run with Carcass, Obituary, and Cattle Decapitation in North America. How are you, of course, after many months, you know, years with not touring? How are you looking forward to the return to the tours?
Yeah, it's going to be really cool to get back out on the roads again. Yeah, we're really excited about that. So first we start in Europe, like you said, with Machine Head and Halo Effect. And then we go back to the States after that. Yes, I think it's great packages with lots of cool bands. It's going to be awesome as long as everybody stays healthy, you know, in the world.
Awesome. And well, before getting to the two last questions to end the interview, Johan, you know, nowadays when you mention the term Viking metal to anyone, of course, despite you're also considered melodic death metal, you know, Amon Amarth is the first band that comes to mind, I think, and that is not easy to do, you know, to become the first choice in the minds of people as well. Yeah, so, what would you say were the points in your career that allowed you to become that great of a reference for the metalheads, you know?
I think it was around the the album Versus the World, that's when we started to really add the Viking theme to the band on stage and stuff too, you know.
How do you look at that? That's, you know, when anyone speaks about Viking metal, the first reference is Amon Amarth. It must be something that you're proud of, right?
Yes, that's of course very cool. And I mean, I guess it comes down to that we have been doing this for a very, very long time. So that's why we have been the band that people think about when they hear the term Viking metal, you know.
Right.
I think it's just, it comes down to that we have been doing it for a very long time.
Awesome. And now, yes, to round up, well, we spoke about your tour ending in Latin America in 2020. Well, I'm in Argentina. I couldn't catch you at that time with Powerwolf, but I've seen you with Abbath in 2016, I think it was.
All right.
Viking. It was a great show, I must say.
Thank you.
And so, will there be another round for South America in the future? Is that in the plans with this new record? What can you tell me about that, if it's been in discussion yet?
Yes, of course, it's going to be a new round in South America. We love to play South America because the audience is the best in South America. But there's no exact dates, you know, that we have planned right now. But for sure, and maybe probably next spring or something. I'm not sure, but for sure we're coming back to South America.
Awesome.
On this album.
Looking forward to it, and I'm sure the fans as well. Any particular experience you remember in South America that maybe you'd like to share, or something you cherish about this part of the world?
Yeah, I remember the first time we played in Chile, and that was the loudest audience response I ever heard.
Wow.
And that was the first time we played, because we started to play the song Pursuit of Vikings, and the crowd started to sing the riff so loud that we could not even hear what we were playing. You know?
Awesome. Great. Well, I mean, Chilean fans are crazy. When Argentina, Mexico, Brazil. Looking forward to the return of Amon Amarth for sure, hopefully next year. So, well, Johan, those were the questions I had for you today. Thank you very much for taking the time to chat with me a bit about this new record. And I would like to end by asking you if you have any final words or any last message for the Amon Amarth fans here in South America. Anything you'd like to say to them? Yeah, we can't wait to come back to South America and play new songs for you guys.